Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a pop vinyl Alex statue. You know, I recognize the skin from somewhere, but I don't quite know where. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please do remember to hit that like button as it really does help me out. And if you want to see more stuff by me, subscribe and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all of my stuff sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let's get started. So just before we get this started, everybody, here are all of the materials that we will be needing to make our pop vinyl Alex. Please do make sure that you have access to all of those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required to make Alex is a 13 by 16 block area, as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground, which you are more than welcome to make if you do feel as though it will help you plan out your world. And that's it. Please make sure that you have all that stuff, make sure you got enough room to make it, make sure you're ready, make sure that you're going to be building it next to a giant mutated creeper statue, and once you are, we can begin. Step 1, pop vinyl pals, come all the way over to the front left hand corner of your grid, if you've made it. On the corner of this grid, we want to place, going right, a row of 16 white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We then want to extend this row of 16 backwards by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we just want to extend across and join all the way back to where we very first started. So essentially we have just made the base of our grid. We want to take the front left hand corner of our rectangular shape and we want to raise it upwards by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We then want to go right by 3. 1, 2, 3. And then up by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We then want to go right by 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then simultaneously, or one after the other really, we want to go upwards by 3. 1, 2, 3. But we also want to go backwards from that same block by 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that 9th block wants to be extended all the way down to the ground, which, as I have complained about, if you guys have ever watched one of these videos before, building down, no good. So eventually we will connect. There we go. We will connect all the way down. So this is kind of like the show part of our box. I'm pretty happy with how that looks so far. In addition to doing this, the row that we extended upwards from the front left hand corner of the build, we can continue extending this row upwards now. And we can join it all the way over to the right hand side, so this is the top of the box. We can then extend this corner backwards and we can join it to the back left hand corner of the box as well, so we can join it all the way down. We're basically making the dimensions of the box. And then we can take this corner and we want to do two things. Number one, we can join it all the way to the front just like this. And we can also join it all the way down, but you guys know my distaste with extending down, so I'm just going to extend up instead. There we go, so now we have pretty much the outline dimensions of the box. Nice. Pretty much just looks like, kind of like a really weird helmet, I don't know. So if we start in the bottom left hand corner of the box, we have a little bit of art to do. So this is kind of like a preview of what you get inside of the box. And we're going to start this off by placing a row of 3 lime terracotta going right from this corner. 1, 2, 3. 2 regular white terracottas going right of that. 1, 2. And then we want to place 2 rows of all of that on top of itself. Meaning we just basically want to copy that row 2 more times. On top of that, we are going to place an entire row of lime. On top of that, on the left side here, we're going to place a white terracotta, and then the rest of the row can be lime. And then for the next row, left to right, we can place 3 white terracotta. 1, 2, 3. We can place a pink concrete here on the left side. 2 white terracotta going right. An entire row of white terracotta. White terracotta on the left. We want to place then a green concrete, white concrete to the right of it. orange concrete on top. You can extend the orange up one and then connect to the left. And then you can fill the middle of that in just with some white terracotta. And essentially that will give you a very creepy, kind of like peeking around the corner Alex. I don't like that. Just kind of like looking over my shoulder, kind of like, what are you up to? Anyway, now that we've done that, we're going to grab the white, or rather the light grey concrete here, and we're going to place a row of light grey concrete going right of the bottom of Alex all the way over to this right hand side here, and we're going to leave it one row short of the right hand side, literally just one row short. We're going to stack another row of light grey concrete on top. We're going to extend up this corner with the white concrete, we're going to extend it up, and we're going to join left. And in addition to that, we're going to extend all the way backwards, like this. We're going to completely fill the middle of the right-hand side in using white concrete like so. And that's looking pretty good. So next step is for us to grab our brown concrete. And we want to place brown concrete in 2 places at this moment in time. We'll actually need it quite a bit more as we progress, but we want to place brown concrete extending all the way up in that 2-block gap, all the way up to almost the top, like that. And we're going to do the same thing just on the left-hand side here, just above where Alex's head is. We want to have the brown concrete extend all the way in between these 2 gaps. So you want to have something that should look exactly like that. If you made the Steve Pop vinyl, then you'll be very familiar with what happens next. So where we have this row of 2 gap that goes all the way around the front and then the right side of the box, we want to place alternating, I was going to say alternatively, but alternating green and lime concretes like this, just extending across the top of our box. And on top of our green and lime alternating concretes, we want to place the opposite alternating concrete. So we're kind of going for a very, very simple grass block sort of decor for the top of this. So just something that should just look like that. That looks pretty good, I think. That's exactly what we're after. Perfect. So now that we've done that, we are going to build these sides up a little bit as well. So when it comes to these sides of our box, we're actually keeping it very, very simple, and it's not 100% structured. The top row of the box on the left and back sides is going to be just completely lime. Just lime concrete. That's all you've got. The row underneath it is going to be a mixture, and this is where like randomness comes into play. But you don't even you can do this. So this is if you want to be lazy, king of lazy here. If you want to be lazy, you place rows of 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, lime, and then green concrete just extending across the end of your box. Now, it'll be a little uneven on this side because it's actually an odd number rather than an even number. But basically, if you have something like this, and then you place green concrete underneath the lime concrete parts like this, and then underneath all of it, once you have placed all of the green underneath all of the lime, if you completely fill, and it's easier to do from the bottom extending up, I've always said it, fill the rest of the box in using brown concrete, bueno. That's exactly what you want to do. You'll get the grass block aesthetic, which is followed on from the front of the box. It kind of follows all the way around. It looks great. No need to change it. I love it. On the left side of the box, by the way, if we are being completely factual, if you were to buy yourself an Alex Pop, you'll notice that the front of the box and the left side of the box and the right side of the box are all very similar to what we've made. On the back of a box, of a pop box, you may have noticed that quite oftentimes there'll be loads of stuff that there'll be writing, there'll be like other characters in the set that you can buy. We can't really do that at this scale, so I think it's best just to make it the grass block. I explained that on the Steve one as well, and by the way, if you haven't seen that video yet, Alex does have a counterpart, of course. Alex and Steve kind of they go together like apples and whatever goes with apples. Apples and pie. Bananas and apples. Chocolate apple? Toffee apples? Horses. Horses love apples. Anyway, that's enough apples and iPhone? Anyway, the point of the matter is, the back of the box isn't exactly what you would expect it to be if we were going for, 100% detail orientated. This is what it would be like in real life. I'm quite sufficient with the fact that it just looks the same as it does on the sides, because it looks really good as you go around the box. I don't think it needs to be changed. But anyway, that was a lot of babble, but luckily we have completed the side, so you don't have to listen to me talk about that anymore. Now that we've completed those two sides, the next thing to do is to actually make the platform which will house Alex inside of the box. Using light grey concrete, we want to make a rather large platform which will cut through a horizontal plane in the box. The light grey concrete is going to sit directly below the white concrete lip that we have created at the top of the box, primarily on the front and right sides. So it's just going to be sunken down just a row, and it will look a little bit better like this instead of Alex just kind of like being straight up just there. On top of that, it will mean that her head isn't cut off, and you'll be able to see, you'll just be able to see her rather nicely. There we go, that's looking pretty good. So Alex uses a couple more, if I can get my mouse in order, Alex uses a couple of different materials than we have on us, and pretty much we're just swapping out the white concrete and the light grey concrete for cyan, terracotta and grey concrete. We also won't need the lime, but we will need the white concrete, so they're the alterations that we have to make. If you come inside of the box and work your way to the front right hand corner, which is here, and we're going to start off with cyan terracotta, by the way, you want to work your way in diagonally towards the center. 1, 2, 3, starting position. Cyan terracotta on the ground, extend left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go, perfect. Add another row on top. Grey concrete on top. 3 rows of brown, that would be 1, that would be 2, that would be 3. 5 layers of lime terracotta, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll fill those in. Just like this. And by the way, if you wanted to make yourself a mini Alex statue, this would also be the way to do it. We want to place 2 white terracotta on the top 2 middle center blocks with lime terracotta either sides. We're going to place an entire row of white terracotta on top of all of this and extend it towards us by 1 row. We're going to place 2 pink on the 2 middle center blocks with white terracotta left and right of the pink. We're going to place an entire row of white terracotta on top of everything that we have just made, and then we're going to place in order, we want to do this on both sides extending inwards, white concrete, green concrete, and then white terracotta. On top of all of this, we want to place, going from left to right, 3 orange concrete, leave a gap of 2, place another orange, white terracotta in between, just like this, and then what that will allow us to do, and let's make sure we've got this right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we just want 1 more row of orange concrete, like this, and that way, the head's pretty much right at the top of the box there, that way she fits in nicely. All we then have to do is take the entire body area, so all of it, starting from the bottom, working our way up, we're going to extend all of the body area backwards by an entire layer, meaning all of the brown, all of the lime, all of the cyan, you guys get the point, all of this, all extended backwards. When we get up to the head, the only thing, we don't want to extend where the collar is on the front, because it'd be insane to have a collar on the back unless you've got a face on both sides. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, the point is we want to come all the way up to the top. We want to have that all lime. And then we want to extend the white terracotta backwards by... Actually, we're not even going to extend the white terracotta backwards a row. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to use orange concrete and we're going to extend backwards by 2 rows. Like this. And then we're going to extend the second row of orange concrete all the way up. It's going to come all the way to the top of the head. And we're going to join it to the front of the head like this, just at the top. And in addition to that, we're going to fill the sides in too. So that's exactly how it will look. Alex has a bit more hair than Steve. So we're not even... And Alex's hair, she wears it in a bit of a different way. So Alex's head is mostly hair. Lucky Alex. What we're then going to do is we're going to grab our lime terracottas and we are going to make 2x2x2 squares extending outwards from the top right hand corner, or the top of her torso, and the on the right side, and the top of her torso on the left side. Now we have made that, we want to extend the arms down using white terracotta. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So basically, just like any Minecraft skin would, the arms dangle right the way down to pretty much just before where the legs start, all the way to the top of the torso, just like that, as one might expect. So that will be that. Nice job. Okay, next we have to make a backing for this. So basically, we're going to grab our grey concrete. And where does the grey concrete start? Shall we start it here? Okay, so the idea is basically we want to place a layer of grey concrete that basically just sits all the way along the outside of Alex. And it might end up looking a little something like this. Okay, so if you line up a row of grey concrete where Alex's eye is, where Alex is being creepy here, if on the ground you line up a row of grey on the floor, and that will mean that you are 1 row away from Alex's side, and if you have a row of grey concrete come all the way to where the white concrete connects at the bottom here, and if you raise up these rows as high as you can without touching Alex's head. So we're gonna have to raise them up as high as just 1 row above her head will do just fine. We should have more than enough room to do that. Then this will be the backing. If you wanted to, you don't even have to add the grey concrete if you don't really want to. The only advantage to adding said grey concrete is the fact that the grey concrete is just a nice backing. Like, it just makes Alex pop a bit more because we've got kind of like a colourful background around us. It just makes her pop a little bit more in the box. So yeah, perfect. So the grey concrete, that is 1 row above, and then we can start adding the horizontal row that sits just up above. We don't want it to connect to her head. I think that might look a little bit weird. And then the grey concrete, essentially, you can see where it starts. It's just up above the white concrete line that we have on the outside. So we'll have all this grey extend across. We've not done this. Oh, we've not done this side yet. So we'll extend this side upwards. We'll join it together because we can actually still get out of the top of the box. That was intentional, by the way. In the last tutorial, I made the top of the box first, and then it's dark, and then you can't escape, and yeah, I think it's just a little bit better if we do things this way around. Quite a few rows to add, but I think that we're rapidly approaching the point where, yeah, so we just need 1 more row here, it joins to the back, and then we can just fill the top in. So you can see there's actually a little bit more space at the back of the box. You can actually walk around it if you want. We're going to fill, whilst we're up here, we may as well fill the top of this in. You can use white concrete or you can use light grey. I like light grey for this. And again, funnily enough, I should have a pop around here somewhere. I think that the top of the box usually is usually a different colour, and there's usually some branding here as well. It might actually just be like the logo, the Funko Pop logo. Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. But regardless, we'll change colour so that it's nice and interesting to look at. And then that will give us, yeah, that's looking great. I love that. That is fantastic. That will give us Alex. We don't actually have glass on us, which is funny, but I wanted to do that I want to do that right now. So I don't have the glass block on me, but it will be in the item list. I won't have forgotten that. It's kind of important. And we're just going to use, I'll tell you what, in the original version, I used glass block. I'm gonna try glass pane. I think that I would like glass block better, but there's only one real way to find out. We're gonna use some glass pane. Because quite often the boxes aren't... It's not like the plastic's like it lines up with the box perfectly anyway. Like it usually is kind of like in between a little bit. So the glass pane may look good here, or it might look bad. I might have to swap it out for glass block. We'll have to see. But I remember having this discussion again. I keep going back to the Steve statue. I really would make the Steve version of this as well if you do like this tutorial. If you like this tutorial, you're probably going to want to make Steve. Like, they make an excellent pair, and I think I might be doing some more of them as well. I might do some for some of the mobs, although that might require adjusting the size of the box a little bit as well, but we'll just have to see. But let's see how the glass pane looks on the front. You see, I had a feeling... Yeah, you see, I do like that. I don't know if I like it as much as the glass block, but I do certainly like it. It does look good still. I mean, And it does. The only reason that I thought that it might look perhaps maybe just a little bit better, or maybe different might be the better word. The only reason it might look a little bit different is the fact that, number one, obviously we get the extra little bit of depth in here. Like, with it being glass pane, I thought it might be a bit more interesting to look at, a bit more eye-catching, because... Why is this so hard to place? A bit more eye-catching because of the fact that it's like a different depth than the glass block. Like, the glass block, obviously, is... Anyone else struggling with this, by the way? The glass block, like, it sits in the same plane as, like, the white concrete. Like, it's not flush with it. The glass block is, but the glass pane is not. So I just thought it might be a little bit more interesting to look at. But I thought that was the final row. I thought that I'd finished. I don't like. If this was glass block, this would have been done now. Should have been glass block. Okay, so yeah. Honestly, it looks really, really good. I think it probably does look a little bit better this way, just a little bit better. If you want to light up the inside of the box so perhaps it's not as dark, you're more than welcome to do that. You've got plenty of room to just add some a little bit of light, perhaps just some sea lanterns above where Alex would be. But there's just one more thing that we're going to be doing. This is going to be the final step. There's nothing more to do after this. You need either a loom or a crafting table. I would use a loom. We need to grab our light grey banners and put them not in the top left hand corner, but just to the right. And we need our white dye as well. So I'm going to throw a loom down on the ground. A crafting table also works. Crack open the loom. We're going to place a light grey banner right in the loom. We're going to chuck some white dye in here, and first we have to write A for Alex. So vertical row of white on the left, vertical row of white on the right, horizontal row of white along the top, and a horizontal row of white through the middle. Grab that banner, that is A. Next we have to make L, horizontal row of white along the bottom, vertical row of white on the left side. That is L. E. E's very easy. Basically, we'll start off with that vertical row of white on the left. We'll place a horizontal row on the top, horizontal row through the middle, horizontal row through the bottom. E. Last but not least, X. So diagonal row, top left corner to bottom right hand corner of white, and then the opposite diagonal row will give us X. Very easy, very intuitive. Alex doesn't perfectly fit on here the way that Steve did. Like, Steve fit right in the middle, but it's okay. Leave a gap of 2 on the left and then write A-L-E-X. Boom, Alex. If you want, you can just like put it all the way on the left or put it all the way on the right. It doesn't really matter. It looks great anyway. That is a statue 100% fully complete, ladies and gentlemen. Let me clean up a little bit so that we can fully appreciate this. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what Pop Vinyl Alex will look like once she has been 100% fully completed. This is what the entire box looks like. We've got the nice graphic of the grass block on the left and back side, kind of a little bit on the right side and the front as well, but more importantly we have Alex written out, we have the little kind of like splash art for Alex, and we also have her in the box as well, looking pretty good. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please do remember to hit that like button, as it really helps me and the channel out very, very much. If you are new around here, please consider subscribing. Click that little bell next to the subscription button. You'll get all my stuff sent directly to your sub box that way. I don't think you guys are going to want to miss some of the weird stuff that I've got coming up. Make sure that that little bell's clicked. And not only that, if you do want to make anything else by me, you can see Pop Vinyl Steve over there, you can see Mutant Creeper, you can see Evil Incorporated behind me. What a weird mix of things to have on your screen. You can check all of that out in the card system, the description below, at the top of the comment section. You can find all of that very, very easily. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.